this time I thought I might go over, you might like to see, some of the gear that I've used over the years for outdoor painting. And it'd be kind of a trip down memory lane here. Back in the old days, I carried this big old full-size French easel around onto airplanes all over the country. I was a lot younger and didn't think twice about the weight that was involved, but those are great self-contained paint boxes. Boy, they're just tough to beat, other than they're so heavy. And here's my half size that I also used extensively for travel, for every day. So I used both of them pretty much the same. As you can see, they've had a lot of wear and tear on them. This is one that I used for a long time too, the Meyer box. And you all are familiar with it. It's a great system. I'm going to step in front of the camera here. And yeah, you are very familiar with this system. You put the wing on it, and you got additional mixing space. This is a 10 by 14, and used it a whole lot. In fact, I and several other good friends of mine worked with Mike when he was developing the Meyer box, the concept, and he would send me and Tim Lawson and Matt Smith and a couple other guys. He'd send us all prototypes to try out in the field, and then come back and give him a report and how to refine it, how to make it better, so on and so forth. And I had to reluctantly quit using my Meyer box because of, you see the little, those of you who are familiar with it, it's got these little wing nuts and knurled knobs on the both sides to steady it and reinforce it. And I've got arthritis in my hands so badly these days that I just, especially when it's cold, I have a real difficult time working those little knobs, and it gets painful. So enough about the old days. Here's what I'm using currently. And there's my terp can. I got a little compact terp can, my sketchbook, a backpack. It's a Red Wing 44. You can see there. It's made by Kelty. It's an okay setup. I mean, there aren't any really perfect ones, but this one works well for me. And you know, the usual paper towels. And here's my brush carrier. And I like this. I've used a lot of different versions of brush carriers, but this one kind of fills the bill for me. I can carry more brushes I'm going to use in there. I probably ought to edit those down. And this is a particularly nifty little tripod here. It's made by, oh, for Pete's sakes, a design company that I can tell you about. This particular one's a carbon fiber, and it weighs practically nothing. It's real quick to set up, easy to break down. A little hook there that I like to hang my backpack off of it when I set up and put my box on here. I'll hang my backpack off that little hook in the center. Keeps the wind from blowing the whole rig over. And this is the Alla Prima box, which I'm using now, and I really like it because there are no knobs to tighten on it. It's all very compact. This is my brush container, and this is from an Open Box M brass brush container that Mike built. And as you can see, the Alla Prima, you got storage for, this is an 8x10 box, and got storage for 2 wet panels, 8x10s, and 2 6x8s, or any other kind of 8x configuration. So you can carry a total of at least 4 panels in the top of this thing, and wet ones, so that you can, I'll step in front of the camera again here, that you can keep in the field with you, and then when you get back to your vehicle or your hotel room, you put them into these wet panel carriers. So there are so many different kinds. These are, again, from Mike, and he's making these. I'm not sure if they're still making them. This was from some of his originals. These wooden boxes like this that I show them to you strictly for historical purposes because they're not made anymore. But they're very handy, and I've got a number of them, just like a number of the Meyer boxes and so on and so forth. But I especially like this alla prima because I've got the wing on the side that then in turn is a cover for the drawer. My most used tubes are right here in the drawer, and for me, because besides my arthritis in my hands, I have a really bad back, and it just got to be painful to be constantly bending over and pulling stuff out of my pack and picking up tubes, pulling tubes out of the pack, and so on and so forth. So this put everything at waist level for me, and it's just perfect because now I can spend an hour and a half painting on it, and the only thing I have to lean over for is you grab a paper towel, and so you can, for me it's a perfect setup, and Ben just makes a great box. Those of you that are not familiar and are interested in them, just check out allaprima.com, and you'll find he has a whole line of these wonderful boxes, and the craftsmanship is beautiful on them. And I also have one of the Strata boxes, and these things are just practically bomb-proof, and it's a great setup too. I do use it. I use the the wings for additional mixing, as you can see here. It goes on one side, and then put your accessories over here in this tray. That's a very handy setup. I don't find myself using it quite as much as the alla prima box these days, simply because everything's self-contained. And here again, as great as this is, and I preface this by saying this is for me. And most of you guys don't have the same problems I do, so we tailor our gear to the way we're going to use it and what works best for us. So this is just an idea to share with you what I do and what works for me. The tripod, I'll go back to that because I just remembered the name, Peak Design, and they go to peakdesign.com. They have some great stuff. As artists, we one of our many flaws is that we can't have enough cool gear, and so in my quest, you can see I went from about a 25-pound big full-size easel over there to this whole setup that I use now most of the time. I can pack everything into that pack, and it's about 15 pounds at the most. Easy for me to carry. I can go anywhere I want, set up quickly. I have everything I need right here. So this is just one idea of how to streamline your gear, your outdoor your outdoor setup, and the advice you get from all of us that have been doing this for a long time is keep things as light as possible and as few parts as you need, because it's easy to go out there. I've seen lots of people, and I know all you have too, that folks that go out there in the field and they're pulling one of those two-wheeled trolleys with all looks like their whole studio on the thing, and it does limit your mobility, and I've always really enjoyed hiking river bottoms and dry washes and hiking the mountains and on the trails, and with this setup right here, I can still pack all the water I need. Cold weather gear, stuff it in there. You layer up, and you just prepare for the conditions that you're going to be facing. So, and of course, we can get into clothing and stuff, but you guys are all aware of that. It's just make sure you have a big hat. I do have an umbrella. In fact, I probably have 3 or 4 umbrellas. I'll throw a couple in when I'm off on a trip, and then usually pull them back out of my vehicle when I get home. And I can't remember the last time I actually set one up, but they're handy to have, especially if it starts snowing on you in the wintertime, and you're painting and you want to wrap the piece up, and you don't want that snow to start covering your palette, which just turns your paint into like sand, and it becomes inoperable very quickly. So those are times I do, and if there's a light drizzle or something like that and I want to wrap a piece up, I'll break out the umbrella.
I'm Skip Whitcomb. I'll be conducting a mentoring course on color harmony. In over 40 years of teaching, color seems to be one of the biggest mysteries. We'll be able to spend a year together developing a reliable foundation for making harmonious color decisions. There are certain irrefutable truisms in painting. One is the fewer colors used, the stronger and more harmonious the statement. Economy of color equals clarity of intention. Respected painters, past and present, understood this concept and have employed it in one form or another. We will explore the power of a limited palette, calculating progressive sequences of 3 to 6 colors, referred to as harmonic chords, and explore how to select the best color set to serve our concept. The goal is to give each artist a reliable foundation for making color decisions, for developing personal expressions of color. Hope to see you in the course.